We often think of Sun Tzu's The Art of War as a manual for the battlefield, but this lesson reminds us that the most successful military is the one that never has to be used. This lesson is about deterrence. Sun Tzu argues that a strong army is just as vital during peacetime as it is during wartime. Why? Because power doesn't just win wars, it prevents them. If your military is in disarray, your neighbors won't see a friend, they will see an opportunity. Recall the three faults from our previous lesson: political interference, incompetent leadership, and a hobbled command. Sun Tzu warns that if these rot exist during peace, rival states will smell the weakness. If we look back to 2014, the Ukrainian military was in a state of significant disarray, underfunded, riddled with hobbled leadership, and lacking a unified spirit. Sensing this weakness, Russia was able to annex Crimea with almost no military resistance. However, between 2014 and 2022, Ukraine spent 8 years building a robust military. They professionalized their ranks and modernized their equipment. When the full-scale invasion came in 2022, the deterrent didn't stop the war, but the lack of disarray is what saved the nation from a total collapse in those first 72 hours. Sun Tzu's philosophy is built on the reality of power vacuums. In the ancient world, it was feudal princes waiting to pounce. Today, it is geopolitical rivals. If a nation allows its military capacity to fade, it is essentially inviting an invasion. Think of the massive buildup of NATO forces on the eastern flank since 2022. Countries like Poland, Finland, and the Baltic states have surged their military spending. This isn't because they want to fight. It's because they understand Sun Tzu's core principle. Strength is a deterrent. By maintaining a robust military during peace, they make the cost of entry for an invader so high that the enemy chooses not to attack. The war tip for this lesson is a timeless warning. In times of peace, maintain a robust military so others do not find opportunity. This doesn't just mean having the most tanks. It means having an army that is free from the three faults. It means an army that is led by professionals, not politicians, and one that is animated by a unified spirit. If the bulwark of the state looks cracked from the outside, someone will eventually try to kick the door down. Deterrence is the art of winning the war before it starts. It is the silent dialogue between nations that says, "We are ready, so do not try." Remember, the best time to fix your roof is when the sun is shining. The best time to strengthen your army is before the storm clouds arrive. To summarize this lesson, peace is preserved through the credible threat of force. Avoid the rot. If your army is hobbled by corruption or political interference during peace, you are advertising your vulnerability. Fill the vacuum. Rival states do not respect borders. They respect the power required to defend them. The goal of deterrence. A robust military is an investment in the absence of war. In the global landscape since 2022, we see a massive return to this Sun Tzuian wisdom. Nations are realizing that the cost of maintaining a strong bulwark is far cheaper than the cost of rebuilding a shattered state. As Sun Tzu taught, stay prepared so that the opportunity to attack never arises. As we close out this lesson, we are left with the ultimate paradox of leadership. To ensure peace, one must be visibly prepared for war. Sun Tzu's final insight in this section is that strength isn't just a tool for the battlefield, it is a diplomatic language. A robust military serves as a silent shield, a bulwark that prevents conflict simply by existing in a state of excellence. We've seen in the modern context that when a nation lets that shield rust through political interference or administrative neglect, it doesn't just lose its edge, it invites its own destruction. Let's recap the core principles of the deterrent strategy. The opportunity cost. Your rivals do not care about your intentions. They care about your capabilities. If they see the three faults of incompetence in your ranks, they will see an opportunity to strike. The peacetime investment. A military is like an insurance policy for a state. If you wait until the invasion begins to build your strength, you have already lost the perfect war. The message of readiness. Deterrence is successful when the enemy looks at your walls and decides that the cost of attack is higher than any potential gain. The war tip remains our guiding light. Maintain your military during the quiet times. By ensuring your officers are professionals and your spirit is unified during peace, you ensure that peace continues. In a world where power vacuums are quickly filled by rival princes, the only way to protect your lands and your people is to make sure that the door is locked and the guard is awake. Stay strong, stay ready, and remember, the greatest victory is a war that is never fought because the enemy was too afraid to start it.